Hello everyone, I felt that it was about time that I made a video giving you guys instructions on how to play through the facility, especially since as I'm making this video I'm currently a level 170 player on the game, so I guess that my input would be greatly appreciated for some people who don't know how to play the game. And there are a lot of people who don't know how to play well, which is pretty much expected since there isn't really a tutorial in the game aside from these hieroglyphics on a whiteboard in the cabin. Some players just don't understand some basic parts of the game as well, but I might make a video later on basic tips that I've learned over playing the game, which could help you get better at playing through the facility. But for now, this is just a walkthrough on how to play and a few basic aspects within the game. But before I begin, I would like to mention that I don't own an Xbox, and therefore I can't really give you guys any instructions on how to play on Xbox. So if you were here to learn how to play it on Xbox, then you're kinda out of luck. But you're still welcome to stay and watch the video since the principle of the game is exactly the same on PC and mobile and Xbox, but just with different controls. In Flee the Facility, the point of the game will vary depending on if you're playing as the Beast or if you're one of up to 4 survivors. I'll get more in depth in their respective roles when they come up, but the whole point of being a survivor is to hack a specified number of computers, free your comrades from these blue tubes, and escape through one of the designated exits. The Beast is supposed to capture and freeze the players, which are obviously on the map. When using PC to play the game, your controls are your usual movement keys, plus the addition of the left shift key, or the shift button below the caps lock key on this keyboard as shown here, and that button is used to crouch or crawl so that you can get through vents, and once you let go of the shift key, it will make you stand back up after you let go of the key. You also have the addition of the E key to pass the challenge, as I call it, when you're hacking computers. I'll get more in depth in the challenge when we get to explaining the survivor portion of the game tutorial, though. On mobile, you have 2 extra buttons as shown here. One is C and one is E. The C button is for you to crouch or crawl, and it will keep you crouching until you press it again. E is to pass the hacking challenge. One thing to note about mobile and PC is that depending on your screen, the fog can be less intense on one device in comparison to another, as I will show you right now. Depending on your stats in a game concerning your role, you may earn a different amount of experience and credits at game end, and this can be because of certain things such as owning VIP or getting different amounts of people. However, I would like to mention that VIP isn't really essential to the game or playing the game to its fullest, but it can help you progress a lot faster as of levels or earning credits. This also isn't an essential part of the game, but if you want to have a nice gem or hammer, there's a shop for crates which act like a gacha for hammers or gems, and they are purely cosmetic and don't offer any special perks other than a style or different colored glowing effects. Crates cost different amounts of credits in-game depending on if you wanted a legendary or epic level hammer or if you just didn't care what the ranking of the item is. And you may be able to buy event hammers for Halloween, Christmas, or other events if you're into that kind of thing. You can also trade hammers and gems with people for different ones, but please just make sure you have good communication and be careful when you're trading. People can scam you, especially if you're going to be trading for Robux. As a survivor, your goal is to hack a specified number of computers with your team as well as save your teammates and escape the facility. When playing as a survivor, I very much recommend taking off any wings or large hats your character may be wearing, as they could poke through things and give away your location to the beast pretty easily. If you wear them still, that's kinda on you, but it's just a suggestion. You should also play with your sound on if you can, as the beast has a very distinct sound, which sounds like this. When you hear this sound, you don't have to run away or hide immediately, but just keep an eye on it and look for an out-of-place glow. This can change depending on the gem the beast is using. When the game begins, you may spawn in a room with a computer, or you may not. You'll just have to walk around to find a computer regardless, but what I recommend for new players is just to check every room until you become successful in finding a computer. When you're hacking, there is going to be a challenge. And this challenge will pop up every so often in the form of a circle with a white portion and a red line. This is where many new people mess up, and unless you were taught how to play or just figured it out on your own, you will possibly just fail it. In order to pass the challenge, you have to make sure that the red line is in the white portion of the circle, and then press E. You should then be able to continue on without any issues, but if you fail the challenge, you will hear a loud Windows XP sound ring out throughout the map, as well as a failed computer symbol above your computer, which will not go away until around 30 seconds later. It takes around 1 minute and 10 seconds to hack a computer without any failures when you're alone, but having more people on a singular computer will cause the process to go faster, and the challenge will progressively get faster as you complete the computer, so just keep that in mind. In order to avoid the beast camping, there is an extra computer able to be hacked. For example, if you have 4 survivors, you'll need to hack 5 computers as a team, but there will be 6 computers spawned on the map. If there's 3 survivors, 4 will need to be hacked, but 5 will be spawned, etc., etc. And there are also 2 exits on the map for you to escape through. These measures are put in place to keep the beast from guarding, but sometimes computers will break and that can put a fork in your plans. That's pretty rare, and you shouldn't have to worry about that all that much though. When hacking, make sure that you have an escape plan for if the beast checks your room. Whether it be a vent, a window, or a door, but it's recommended that you have at least 2 ready-to-use means of escape, so you aren't headed for one exit in that room. If you use a door to escape the room, remember to close the door behind you so that you slow the beast down during their chase. If someone gets captured, you should see a blue symbol like this. It's meant to indicate that someone is freezing, and it's in your best interest to save them, as if you don't, then there's a possibility that they will freeze, and they could form a grudge against you. And then that could cause the possibility that they in turn won't save you in your time of need. It's okay if you're across the map, and no, you won't be able to make it, but at least try to tell them that. And maybe that could possibly cause them to not form a grudge against you, and they'll understand. Once all computers are hacked, you'll hear this sound. This sound signals that the exits can now be opened. Follow the yellow symbols to the exit and make sure you have an escape plan in case the beast comes over to your exit, whether your escape plan is in the form of a vent or a hole in the wall, an open door, or a window. Remember that if you use a door as your escape plan, you should close the door behind you to slow the beast down in their chase down, and once the escape exit is open, it's up to you whether you leave immediately or wait for someone else to escape before fleeing. When you get left all alone with the beast and have to hack many, many computers, try not to feel too overwhelmed or give up. You can do it. You've been given plenty of time, and I believe in you. As a beast, your goal is to freeze as many people as you can during the round, and the round will leave if you freeze everyone, if the remaining players escape, or if everyone else just leaves. When it comes to playing as the Beast, I've seen some people who are frustrated with how they play, and they're convinced that they're bad players. But to those people, I have one piece of advice for you. Please keep playing as the Beast to the best of your ability, and try not to camp or guard freezing players. Just walk around the area, and maybe you'll find other players on their way to save their comrade, and you'll be able to freeze them. More experience with the game over time will improve your abilities when playing as the Beast, and that's how some people get really good at playing Beast. Either that, or just plain luck. If you don't want to play as the Beast, then please just try anyway. Don't leave the game if you lose someone on a map. If the people are here in the game, they only want to have a fun experience, and it gets really annoying after a while if people leave because they just don't want to play as a Beast, or they're going to lose as a Beast. The game creator has put in place some attempts to keep people from guarding or camping freezing players, one form of which would be standing too close to the capsule the freezing player is in. It will either slow down the progress of the freezing, or it will stop it entirely, depending on your proximity to them. And if anything, you'll have better luck with walking around and finding other players on their way to save them than just standing there and watching over players like a hawk. Some players may use tricks to get your attention, while another person frees their comrade, or they'll just save them. In the end, there's also people who won't save their comrades whatsoever, thus making your efforts pointless. Your best course of action as the Beast would be looking for failed computers and going to their locations, as people will most likely stay there until you're nearby. Try to close in on them as much as you can, then click or tap to whack them over the head with your hammer. Once you hit someone, the rope will automatically attach, but if it becomes detached, just tap the person again until the rope reappears. You may trigger the whacking sound and animation a few times, but please take it slowly. Try to find the nearest blue tube, highlighted by symbols of, blue tube, and when you find one, press E to freeze them and leave the room to find your next victim. If the survivors hack enough computers to unlock the ability to open the doors, you're really gonna have a dilemma, and I hate to say it, but you could lose at least one person since there's 2 exits. At this point, you could either give up, or go to one of the 2 exits and hope to find someone there. If you don't find anyone, it will take a little while to get to the other exit, but don't feel too bad if you can't freeze everyone. You can't always win rounds in this game. I urge you to not leave the game when people unlock the exits, or if you're going to lose, because it's just very annoying to get all the computers only to be unable to escape because the Beast was going to lose and therefore left the game. So yeah, that's just a basic tutorial, and hopefully I covered most of the game's parts and workings. There's a lot more going on with survivors than there are with the Beast's role, since the Beast's only function is to freeze people while the survivor hacks, rescues their comrades, and has to flee the facility as well. There's just a lot more going on in the survivor department. Thank you for watching my video, and hopefully this was helpful to you, and maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, but I really appreciate you wanting to play the game and trying it out, and I hope you enjoy the game just as much as I do. Bye bye for now.